You wake up in a room you don't recognize, surrounded by objects that should feel familiar, but don't. The photographs on the wall display a face that looks like yours. Yet something is wrong. The eyes seem empty, the smile forced, the life behind them a mystery. You try to recall who you are, what you truly believe, but every answer feels rehearsed, scripted, like lines fed to you by someone else. Who are you beneath the roles, the masks, the expectations? If everything you thought you were was stripped away, would you recognize yourself? Or would you feel like a stranger? From the moment you were born, the world began shaping you, before you even had a say in who you wanted to be. Parents, teachers, society, culture, they all handed you an identity like a pre-written script. What to believe, how to behave, what success looks like. They told you who you are before you could ever ask the question for yourself. Carl Jung called this the persona, the mask we wear to fit into society. Necessary, yes, but also dangerous. Because over time you forget it's just a mask. You start believing you are it, the good student, the obedient child, the responsible adult. You play the part so well that you lose the ability to distinguish the act from reality. Nietzsche warned about this when he spoke of herd mentality. The world doesn't want individuals. It wants predictability, a system where everyone knows their place. The moment you step outside the mold, discomfort arises. Society reacts, not with curiosity, but with resistance. That's not you, they say. You've changed. As if staying the same were a virtue. But who exactly decided what you even means? Were your beliefs truly chosen, or merely inherited? How much of your personality is yours, and how much is a collection of expectations drilled into you by those who came before? The terrifying truth is this: most people never find out. They live and die inside a carefully constructed identity that was never really theirs to begin with. And that's where the real danger begins. Because if you don't know who you truly are, then who is living your life? If you never question who you truly are, you become something far worse than lost. You become programmed. Most people never break free. They feel the weight of their false self, but cling to it because the unknown is terrifying. But if you've made it this far, you're not most people. So how do you begin? First, recognize that nearly everything you believe about yourself is a construct. Your preferences, fears, even your personality. Many of these were shaped by forces outside of you. Friedrich Nietzsche called this the herd mentality, the unconscious adoption of society's values to avoid standing alone. True freedom begins when you question everything: your beliefs, your goals, even your desires. Ask yourself, if no one was watching, who would I be? Second, destroy the illusion of certainty. Society trains you to seek comfort, stability, and predefined paths. But true self-awareness isn't found in comfort, it's found in chaos. When you willingly embrace uncertainty, you start peeling away the layers of false identity. Viktor Frankl, a man who survived the horrors of the Holocaust, discovered that meaning is not given. It is created. You must forge your own. Third, embrace solitude. Not L, think about it. Every decision you make, every reaction you have, every desire you chase, how much of it is truly yours? You crave success, but was that hunger planted in you by a culture that equates worth with achievement? You seek validation, but is that because you were conditioned to measure your value by how others perceive you? Psychologists call this social conditioning, a phenomenon so deep that it operates beneath conscious awareness. The world doesn't need chains to control you. It only needs to tell you the same story over and over until you believe it's yours. And here's the cost. You wake up one day, years have passed, and something feels wrong. The job, the relationships, the routines, they all seem hollow, like echoes of a life you don't remember choosing. Anxiety creeps in, restlessness, maybe even despair. Why? Because the real you, the one buried beneath years of conditioning, has been screaming for your attention. You just haven't been listening. Jean-Paul Sartre described this as bad faith, living a life dictated by external expectations rather than your authentic self. You conform, you comply, and you call it responsibility. But in truth, it's fear. Fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of looking in the mirror and realizing you have no idea who's staring back. And the longer you ignore that voice, the louder the consequences become. Some numb it with distractions, work, entertainment, endless scrolling. Others drown it in addictions. And some, the rare ones, decide to face it. But facing it means rebellion. It means unlearning everything. It means burning the mask to the ground. Are you willing to do that? Most people never break free. They feel the weight of their false self, but cling to it because the unknown is terrifying. But if you've made it this far, you're not most people. So how do you begin? First, recognize that nearly everything you believe about yourself is a construct. Your preferences, fears, even your personality. Many of these were shaped by forces outside of you. Friedrich Nietzsche called this the herd mentality, the unconscious adoption of society's values to avoid standing alone. True freedom begins when you question everything, your beliefs, your goals, even your desires. Ask yourself, if no one was watching, who would I be? Second, destroy the illusion of certainty. Society trains you to seek comfort, stability, and predefined paths. But true self-awareness isn't found in comfort. It's found in chaos. When you willingly embrace uncertainty, you start peeling away the layers of false identity. Viktor Frankl, a man who survived the horrors of the Holocaust, discovered that meaning is not given. It is created. You must forge your own. Third, embrace solitude. Not loneliness, solitude. The quiet space where distractions fade and the real you begins to emerge. Most avoid this step because silence forces them to confront the abyss within. But within that abyss lies your truth. This is not an easy path. It will cost you friendships, illusions, and maybe even your old self. But what is the alternative? To live a life that was never yours to begin with. And now, the moment of reckoning. If you strip away the expectations, the fears, the illusions, what remains? If you let go of every borrowed belief, every imposed identity, every mask, who are you then? Here's the truth. Most people will never find out. They will spend their lives running, numbing, distracting themselves from the one question that truly matters. Because to face it means death, not a physical one, but the death of who you thought you were. Carl Jung called this individuation, the painful, necessary process of integrating the darkness within you, the forgotten desires, the suppressed instincts, the truths you were told to deny. To be whole, you must embrace all of it, the beautiful, the terrifying, the divine, the monstrous. Only then do you become real. And here's the final, inescapable paradox. There is no single, true self waiting to be found. You are not a puzzle to be solved. You are the one holding the brush, the one painting the canvas. You are the creator of who you become. So the real question isn't, who am I? It's, who will I dare to be? Now the choice is yours. Will you walk back into the dream or step into the unknown?